So right now it is 7:13 in the morning and I haven't slept yet. TI is still going on, the final series is happening, and this is a pretty hype matchup for most people. For some reason for me, I don't really care that much for it, but I guess I feel motivated to watch the entire day today. But overall, I'm actually really happy about the way the event is going so far. LGD played VG earlier and beat them 2-0. So they are now top 3. They're in the upper bracket finals, and I feel like it would be so amazing if they managed to win this year, because last year they got second, so this year it would be like redemption. And they have honestly been playing so well. Very dominant and just clean, smooth Dota, very few mistakes. And I love seeing them play at the top of their form again like this, like they were last year. So today has been a great day. There was also a very exciting series, Mineski versus Secret. So for that series, I was really hoping Mineski would win because they are the underdogs and people just expect Secret to demolish everybody. But Mineski played so well for most of those games, and it was so devastating to see them lose the series overall, because I feel like for some of the games they made some poor decision making and they threw a very strong lead, and just seeing them play so well and still manage to lose the game really hurts. So Secret do move on, but it was crazy to see them be at such a disadvantage against a team like Mineski. I am pretty amazed that I am not dying like crazy. Today I woke up around 11:30 and I didn't nap at all, but still here I am. About, how long has it been? Like 18 hours I've been awake, or something longer than that. And I do think though that I will probably sleep now because, sorry, I'm looking at the TV because the match is going on right now. Because I do think that I am just pretty tired at this point, and I don't really know if I want to risk the chance for this series to go to a game 3. Right now it's game 2, so it would probably take at least maybe another 2 hours for the third game to finish, and I'm just so exhausted. So I think I'm okay with waking up and checking to see who won, but today has been a great day of Dota. Like amazing games. I've been so excited. I've been so entertained and just like so emotional as well, because I feel like I like to put myself in the player's shoes to feel and imagine how heartbreaking it must be to lose some of these games. They go long, or it's just so intense, and any mistake gets punished so hard. So it must feel like such a high and such a low playing this game competitively. But man, I'm so grateful for the international. I'm so grateful for Dota. This is an amazing esport, the best in my opinion, since I'm biased. There's 3 more days left of TI, and I will cherish it like crazy. Right now, whoa, right now I am cooking some lunch slash dinner. I woke up at 3 p.m. today. What day is it today? Thursday. I'm getting mixed up with my days because of TI. There's 3 more days left, and today is all lower bracket matches, and it's going to start at 7 again. But I stayed up until like 7 a.m. No naps, nothing at all, amazingly. And yeah, woke up at 3, and I'm actually kind of happy about that, because the later I wake up, hopefully that means the more energy I have to watch TI for the whole day. Today's only 3 best of 3s, and then they have the All-Star game, but I don't really care about the All-Star game. So yesterday was a freaking great day of Dota. I'm so happy for LGD. I really hope they win this year. But today is a simple day. I took Riley for a walk earlier. It is actually pretty cool today, and I'm starting to appreciate cooler weather because no AC, my house gets pretty hot, and when I opened the door and I felt the cool air, I was like, yes, I could put the fan at the door and cool down my house much easier, and it felt so nice. So yesterday I actually took her to walk at Del Mar, which was awesome. I haven't been there in a while, but it was kind of hot yesterday, like 80 degrees, so I didn't get to walk with her that long. And her leg is still limping a tiny bit. So something I haven't mentioned yet is I decided to book a trip to Sedona, Arizona. Last year, I wasn't able to go anywhere during Christmas, and I have that week off from work for free. I don't have to use any of my own days off. So because I have a whole week off, I always like to make the most out of that time, and I figured another road trip would be nice. This time it's just for 6 days, 5 nights, and I decided to book a place. Actually, this is a whole house to itself, but it's not as expensive as how much I spent for Montana, Idaho. I spent a lot on that trip, but I'm pretty excited about this one because, you know, when I went to Utah and seeing the red rocks, this area of Arizona also has the same, and I think it's super beautiful, so I'm really looking forward to going, but that's at the end of the year. Hey, it's Friday, and I'm just about to head out really quick to get my pitaya bowl and I guess some bubble tea. That's kind of what sucks, I feel like, for busy places like San Diego, or at least I plan it out that way, where even though I have my day off today, and it would be nice to go out and enjoy the weather, I feel like I can't really go out past a certain point. So it's almost 2 o'clock actually, and I'm gonna be nervous that I'm actually gonna hit some traffic when I go there. Hopefully not. But yeah, it's Friday. I feel like traffic might start early. Really hope that's not the case, because it just sucks to feel like I have to be holed at my house. Otherwise I might run into traffic, and I just don't want to waste my time in that ever. So I'm gonna just, I'm sweating already. I'm just gonna go grab that and then come straight back, and then I guess I could watch a movie and then stream, and then it's time for some TI again. So only 2 more days left. I'm so sad that it's about to be over. It's gonna be so sad. The final day of TI is about to start. Stream has begun, but there's no draft yet. You know, they always have talking and whatnot in the beginning. So the first match of the day is Team Liquid versus LGD lower bracket finals, and I'm so nervous. I really want LGD to win, and I want them to win the whole thing. That would make me so happy. And honestly, to be honest, the finals would be a little bit dampened in terms of interest if I don't have at least my team there. But obviously, I'm sure it will still be just as exciting. Yeah, TI is over after today. It's gonna feel so weird. It always tends to, because it's like I've been anticipating it for so long, and then it comes and then it goes, and then I have to work again. I had 4 days off this week. It felt really awesome. And we do have a holiday. Labor Day is coming up, so that's good at least. I guess I will quickly provide a recap as to why I moved. I do have DoorDash coming, but I think I still have a little bit of time. A couple days after I got back from Montana, I was at my front door after work, and I was there with Riley. My plan was originally to wheel my motorcycle there because the power outlet was there. I didn't realize there was one in the back, and I wanted to charge my battery. So I wheeled it over, and then while I was standing there wanting to work on it, I saw a bunch of fleas jumping all over my legs, and I got so angry and frustrated at that moment. I was literally standing out there on the sidewalk like screaming, fuck, like why is this fucking happening again? So I was out there for a little bit. I was trying to figure out what do I want to do, and I decided to deal with my motorcycle later. And the thing that really pissed me off was I saw so many fleas jumping into Riley's fur, like you saw black specks on her leg, because they were on the surface and they were starting to burrow in. So that happened, and then pretty much this was the worst infestation we've ever had compared to last year. This time I had like 40 or so bites all over my body. They were all over my stomach area, my back, my legs, my shoulders, my arms, just all over. So after all of that, I was like, I can't fucking live here anymore. So I honestly spent all of my time for like a week, and I think it took about a week, looking places up, contacting them, and then going there to see. At first, I was getting kind of discouraged because I looked at a few places, and some of them just had like terrible neighborhoods, or like the driveway leading to the place was super shit. Honestly, I feel like around here, it's really hard for me to lower my standards because I was thinking about this where my upbringing definitely contributed to what I prefer, I think, because our neighborhood where I grew up, it was a newly built neighborhood. So we had normal shit like a garage for every house. We had nice sidewalks that were not cracked or they didn't end randomly. And just like the streets looked nice, the neighborhood looked nice. You didn't see weird shit like garbage on your front lawn. You see that here all the time. Even here in my new neighborhood, garbage on the front lawn. People park their cars all over their lawn. And like the house itself looks like shit. So yeah, there's that everywhere. So after enough time, I finally found this house and just like told her that I wanted to sign for it immediately. So she actually managed to clean it up and allow me to move in as soon as possible. And then I was also dealing with my landlord because he is honestly a negligent little fucker. He was told by the pest control company to seal up the deck. That's how we're having these issues. There's a deck behind my house and there are holes leading underneath. So critters would go under, being infected with fleas, and they would die or the fleas would be brought there and they would reproduce like crazy. So that's pretty much what happened. And he thought that instead of actually doing official work on the deck like contractor people, he took some bricks and he stacked them against the holes and just like put them there, and that's all he did. So when I saw that email from the pest control company, I got really pissed, and honestly I was considering suing him because he reminds me of that guy from WoW that was persistent at emailing me and was just the most oblivious person in the world. And when I made that connection, I was like, I hate people like that with a strong passion. And honestly, when I was dealing with that guy, when he was emailing me, it made me so angry that I could not do anything to him about it because it's online only. Only if he did something like stalking me in real life could I get a restraining order. So I guess since it felt like I could do something about it this time towards somebody with that personality, I was definitely considering it. I spoke to a lawyer just to see if we had a case, and I didn't obviously pursue it because, you know, I wasn't really sure if it was worth the time or the money. And honestly, I just really like my low-key life, you know? I actually think my guy, oh no, I don't know. Where's my guy? Oh, he's slowly making his way over. But yeah, eventually I managed to get him to wire me money for my security deposit and unused rent. And he's actually on vacation in South America this entire month. So the infestation was going on before he left, and he just fucking decided to go, even though it was so awful. He had 2 tenants, me and this other woman, that were deeply affected by it, and he's just a dumbass fucking person. So I'm so glad to be rid of him. Honestly, I wanted to get reimbursement costs for that garbage. He said that he would address it when he gets back. I don't know if I'm going to spend the time reaching out to him because I fucking hated that situation, and I might just take the loss. Like, I decided to throw out my couch and buy a new one, as you can see. So that was what spurred my very quick moving situation. And what does suck though, I have to admit that this area and the house do feel a bit inferior. So for example, I don't have air conditioning here. This house is also further south than where I lived, so it is slightly further from work, like 2 to 3 minutes. Looks like my food is here. I'm back. My food is pretty hot anyways. I got pad see ew Thai noodles. I got it from the same place last time and it was pretty good. Unfortunately, I'm out of meal type food. Like, I cooked and I ate it pretty quickly, so I'm out. I mean, I could eat Hot Pockets, but maybe I'll eat that later in the night because this is going to be a long night. We got a best of 3 first and then best of 5. So the best of 5 is scheduled to be around midnight, 11 p.m. to midnight, so it's going to go late if it goes to 5 games. So let me just recap a little bit on what I was talking about and more like discuss what I like and dislike about this place. So Like I mentioned, this place does not have air conditioning. I actually forgot to ask about that when I first came to look at it because that's not something I think about. I kind of grew up maybe with the impression that everywhere would have air conditioning. So when I came to California and realized that that's not the case, not a big fan of that. This one does not have a garage. It had one, but it got converted into a room. So the good thing though is that there is space on the side behind a fence where I can wheel my motorcycle so it's not in plain view of the street or just in general. That's something that's kind of important to me. I don't want my new motorcycle, even though it's been over a year now, to just be in plain view. So I have it on the side. The good thing is that this area does have a pretty large backyard, but it's dirty or it's a mess where there's like a lot of weeds or prickly plants. So I have been fetching with her, but after one day she started limping for days, and I just don't think it's a good idea to fetch with her back there until the landlord cleans it up. The annoying thing, of course, that I did not realize is that the border of my fence on one side is definitely connected to somebody else's house. So one time I was fetching with her and there was like a fucking weird ass dog whining on the edge of the fence. Like at first I didn't know what it was, then I realized it was another dog just sitting there whining, and I was like, oh my god, go away. So that is annoying. So not having AC also forces me to leave windows and doors open more. So the door being open and my living room being situated like this feels a bit exposed, because when I'm sitting here watching something from certain angles, you would be able to see me, which honestly, I don't really care much about that stuff. Like, yeah, it would be nice to have some privacy, but I'm going to fucking not wear pants. I don't care if you can see me. Accessing the highway in one direction is okay. So if I'm going west, it's not that bad. It's pretty close. But if I'm going east, it's definitely more annoying because I have to pass by a lot of traffic lights and they tend to be pretty congested. So earlier today, I wanted to go for a motorcycle ride and it took so long to get onto the highway. First off, I needed gas. So I went to Shell and they didn't take credit cards. The card reader wasn't working, so that was fucking useless. So it took time to freaking go to a gas station and then get onto the highway to go east. So that does bother me more because where I was living previously, it was so easy to go both directions, west and east, and there was also a gas station along the way for both directions, so it was very convenient. The extra time to get to this house, I think it's about like 4 minutes. It does bother me. I've noticed some days I don't really want to drive back here because it feels long. And another thing that does bother me a lot, unfortunately, is that this neighborhood is just honestly not that great to walk her in. It is hardly flat, basically in all directions. I'm either going downhill or I'm going uphill. And just the neighborhood looks meh. And I know my standards are high. There's obviously some houses around here that look fine, and then there's some houses that look like utter shit, and I just tend to feel uncomfortable when I walk by those houses. I just don't feel great about it. Sometimes when I'm walking her around, I just feel like I'm on display, so it would just make me feel so much better if I was in a community that felt better. So I went with her to Del Mar recently, and that is the one place around here in California that really truly makes me so happy to walk her in. So I might have to make those trips more often. Not obviously like more than once a week. I would only probably do it once a week at most, which sucks. It is a bit of a far drive, but I still think it's worth going there to walk her, especially when it's cooler so we can do longer walks. But yeah, I have certainly noticed that around here, I just don't have much motivation anymore to walk her far, and I don't like walking her in the neighborhood itself because the sidewalks just feel closer to the house. Maybe? No. At my last neighborhood, I think it's roughly the same, but yeah, there's a lot of barking dogs around here. There are barking dogs at fucking 4 a.m. too, because when I was watching TI, after that ended and I tried to go to sleep with my window open to stay cool, there was a dumb fuck dog barking forever. So I feel like the noise around this area is meh. There seems like there's more kids playing around. Like at my last neighborhood, there were kids, but they weren't loud or rowdy, or I hardly heard them. So maybe the noise at my other house was better controlled. Yeah, I mean, the interior of this house is great. It's fine. But I think everything else is worse. So that is unfortunate. And I have to be here for a year. So I will have to learn to deal with it. Good thing it's approaching fall and winter, because there are some days where, you know, I don't really have much to cool out the house. I bought one fan, but it's just one. But I guess it's good enough because I pretty much just direct it on Riley when I leave for work, and I think that should be good enough to keep her cool. But I noticed that, you know, it's going to change a bit for what I tend to do. So for example, on the weekends, I like to work out right when I wake up so I can get it out of the way and then have the rest of the day not worrying about it. But if I don't have air conditioning, it's pretty miserable working out when it's hot. So I might be pigeonholed to working out only in the evenings. Like honestly, today I actually still have to do my workout, which is fine because I wanted to do it like during the TI period. So there's going to be that gap between lower bracket and then grand finals. So I can always work out during then, and then it'll be nice and cool. So it'll be fine. But yeah, there was actually another house north of my workplace that is, in my opinion, in a better location than this. But the process for that one would have been slower. And I actually spent an hour talking on the phone with the landlord because I think it was his first time. So he asked me so many questions, and then sometimes he would like go on a ramble about what I said, and he sounded fine. Like I think he would have been a great landlord, but yeah, I don't think I would be willing to wait for that longer process. Like I think I would have had to wait a couple weeks, like maybe 2, maybe closer to the end of the month. And if you think about it, that's like now, if I stayed at that other house for this long, I would have been so upset even more. Like I don't know, I was already really upset at that point, but to wait even longer would have been terrible. So it's unfortunate because I didn't get to see the house and I wanted to, and I'm sure it was available, but yeah, he just wasn't in a position to show it to me. He seemed like he traveled back and forth for work, so at that time he wasn't here. So I had already seen this house actually, so I told him like, is there any way to expedite it, because I like your attitude and your house better most likely, but I already saw this other house I'm interested in, and yeah, couldn't speed it up. So overall it does sound like I'm disappointed in moving here, but I think I'll be okay. It feels like a bigger space. The cat room is huge. It's basically the garage, so I gave that to them. But if Milo keeps pooping like he has been, it's gonna smell fucking awful. Sometimes like there's so much poop in there, I don't even know. God, Milo. Right, Milo. Okay, well, TI should be starting soon, so even though I'm going to be putting this video up after it ends, I will just say now, hopefully LGD wins, and I hope like collectively people will send their good karma towards them so that they can finally win a much deserved TI.